What if I told you there was a point in your savings journey where you could stop contributing to your retirement and still retire comfortably? Well, that number is called your Coast FI number. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate it. As a financial planner, one of the most exciting conversations that I get to have with young adults is all about compound growth. And that is exactly what Coast Financial Independence takes advantage of. You're going to see in today's video exactly how this number can be so much more realistic and feel so much more attainable. This is going to be a fun conversation showing you how if you start saving for retirement early, you may have to save less money than you actually think. And Coast FI is a fantastic way to see this concept in action and see just how you can take advantage of the math. The idea of Coast FI is pretty simple. You contribute enough money up front that money will be able to grow with time and compound interest to the money that you need to be able to retire comfortably whenever you set. And the math is going to show you exactly how much money you need. And we're going to walk through that today. So grab a calculator, a spreadsheet, or pull up the calculator linked down in the description, and let's go through this together. All right, so in today's tutorial, the very first step that you have to do is figure out your retirement number. And what that is how much money you're going to need to fund the rest of your life. So the most comfortable rule of thumb that people use is the 4% rule. This means that you can spend 4% annually adjusted with inflation as you continue in your retirement, and you'll essentially never run out of money. It's a safe rule of thumb that people use to go forward into figuring out how much money they can spend. So working backwards from that, if you take your annual spending and times it by 25, that's how much money you need invested in order for you to be able to live off the 4% rule. So that's step one, is figure out that retirement number. Take your annual spending and multiply it by 25. If you're not quite sure, we'll use an estimate today of $50,000 a year in retirement. And that comes out to $1.25 million in retirement as your full financial independence number. So now step two, you need to figure out how many years it's going to be until retirement. And this calculator linked down below on walletburst.com, you just enter your current age and then you enter your retirement age. And it's pretty simple from there. So in this example, we're going to look at 38 years. And the more time you have until retirement, the smaller your Coast Financial Independence number is going to be, and that's going to make it even easier to attain. That's exactly why being young and starting early can be such an advantage. And then step three, we're going to choose an expected rate of return. So for this one, we're going to use a 7% after inflation annual rate of return. So in the calculator, how I put that in is a 10% growth rate and a 3% inflation rate. Yes, the math can be a little more complicated than just 10 minus 3 equals 7% after inflation, but just for simplicity's sake, that's what we're going to use today. And you can adjust this up or down based on your own investment strategy and your own risk tolerance. So now we can run the calculation, and as you're putting in all your numbers on this chart, it's going to show you everything you need to know. So if you look at it down here at the bottom, it says your Coast FIRE number at your current age is $95,571. So that's how much money you would need invested in order for you to be able to coast all the way to retirement and be able to use your money in so many other ways other than saving for retirement. And we'll get to that more here in just a moment. So now you can compare where you're at today and see what you need to do in order to reach Coast Financial Independence. So if you already have that much money invested at the rate that you said you're trying to earn, then you're good. You can use your money for other things besides retirement, including saving for a home, paying off your student loans early, paying off your car loan. All those different goals that you have can now be so much easier to reach because you don't have to worry so much about retirement at this point. But if you're not there yet, realize that it's okay. And let's walk through the calculator a little bit more to give you a perspective on how much easier it's going to be to reach this number than it will be to reach your full financial independence number. So what we're going to mess around with here on the calculator is your monthly contribution amount. So as you can see on screen here, let's say you have $0 currently invested, but you want to contribute $500 per month. So if we contribute $500 per month, you'll see you're not going to be able to reach Coast FIRE before 65. If you did $1,000 a month, you can reach Coast Financial Independence right here at age 39. So it says you're 12 years from Coast Financial Independence. So if you can contribute $1,000 a month towards your retirement at all of the different rates that we've inputted here, then it's going to take you 12 years to reach Coast FIRE, and then you can take your foot off the gas with that $10,000 a month. Now let's say you're able to do $2,000. Well, you're only 5 years from Coast Financial Independence. So if you can commit to 5 years of $2,000 a month into your retirement, then you're golden. Then you're good. You can take your foot off the gas a little bit and begin to look at other goals and maybe slow down or adjust a little bit because you know that your retirement is going to be able to be met when that time comes at age 65. But now let's look at how much easier this is if you're younger. Say you're only 23. Now, if you look at that, you're only 4 years from Coast Fire. So it's even smaller because your Coast financial independence number here is only about $73,000. So it'll be so much easier for you to reach that. And the younger and younger you get, the easier and easier this gets. So if you're 20, your Coast financial independence number is only $60,000. And you can see here how time is your biggest superpower. And now hitting Coast Fi is a huge milestone and something to be celebrated, but there are a couple things to keep in mind. First off, reaching Coast financial independence doesn't mean you're done working. It just means you can take your foot off the gas a little bit when it comes to saving for retirement. Now, if you wanted to retire even earlier, you could continue contributing to your retirement, and it's just going to bring that retirement date earlier and earlier and earlier. So that's a great way to realize you're going to be okay. But if you just want to speed up retirement, then go for it. But just remember, you are still going to have to cover your living expenses month to month, but you might not need a job that is making as much money as possible because you can take your foot off the gas a little bit. Second, make sure to remember that this math assumes a straight line, even, consistent rate of return, which is not going to happen in the real world. There may be some years where it goes up more than expected, and there may be some years where it's lower than expected. That difference is to be expected. Expect it to go up and down. It's not just going to be a straight line. And remember, Coast financial independence is a baseline, not the end goal. You can continue contributing to speed up your retirement day. But ultimately, just remember that the real power here is time. Getting started earlier and doing, like I mentioned in the previous podcast episode, by saving for retirement first before other big milestones allows you so much more flexibility later in life and so many more options when it comes to doing whatever you want, whether it's finding a different job or speeding up your retirement day or saving for other goals that are important to you. So this week, I want all of you to calculate your Coast FI number and leave a comment down below letting me know what the number is and if you were surprised by how much smaller it is than your actual financial independence number. And if you want to talk through the bigger picture of what this number really means, how you can hit your Coast FI number, please let's schedule a time to chat. And I would love to help you walk through what all of this means and get a plan in place to reach Coast FI. And thank you so much for watching this video on how to calculate your Coast financial independence number. Make sure you check out the podcast, Financial Planning for Young Adults, for even more great weekly podcast episodes where we dive deep into the topics that young adults have on their mind when it comes to their money and creating a financial plan that actually works for them. I really hoped this video helped you understand what Coast FI is and see a number that is so much easier to grasp than your full financial independence retire early target. And trust me, I'm sure you're like me because once you see this much smaller Coast FI number, it's hard to unsee it. So please go out there, chase Coast financial independence, and then open up your financial life to all sorts of different opportunities. And thank you for watching this video on financial planning for young adults. I'm your financial planner, Skylar Fleming, and have a great week.